First, Rajon Rondo, ball fake. Rajon Rondo's ball fake isn't just a flashy move, it's a mental trap disguised as a simple gesture. In essence, the move is about selling the illusion of a pass or shot so convincingly that the defender's instincts take over and they react before thinking. Rondo's version is especially dangerous because of his unique passing style and vision. He'll drive toward the paint, keep his dribble alive, and then suddenly whip his body and arms in the direction of a supposed pass, even snapping head and eyes toward a teammate as if the ball is already gone. Defenders, wired to stop passing lanes, immediately lunge or shift to intercept, and that's when Rondo capitalizes. With the defender out of position, he either takes an uncontested layup, feeds the real pass to a now open teammate, or resets the play with total control. What makes Rondo's ball fake legendary is his ability to blend it into live action without breaking rhythm. Unlike most players who set up a fake deliberately, Rondo performs it mid-stride, mid-dribble, and even mid-air, making it impossible to predict. He used this skill in clutch playoff moments, especially during his Boston Celtics days, to dismantle disciplined defenses like the Lakers and Magic's. The move's success comes down to three things: his ball control, his court vision, and his poker face level composure. It's not just a trick, it's a calculated manipulation of human reaction time. 2. LeBron James, LeFTKU3. The LeFTKU3 isn't an official name from the NBA rulebook. It's a fan-made term born from pure disrespect and dominance. Imagine this. LeBron dribbles the ball slowly, surveying the defense, and the man guarding him stands several feet away, daring him to shoot from deep. Instead of running a set play or attacking the rim, LeBron takes one or two casual dribbles, leans slightly back, and fires a three-pointer from a range that most players only attempt in desperation. There's no hesitation, no pump fake, just pure confidence. What makes this move special is the psychological warfare behind it. It sends a message. You think I can't hit this? Watch. The crowd usually reacts the moment the shot goes up, and if it falls, which it often does in his hot stretches, it completely demoralizes the defense. They're now forced to pick him up far beyond the arc, which opens up driving lanes for his unmatched combination of power and speed. LeBron has used the LeFTKU3 in high-pressure situations, like during playoff games against the Raptors and Warriors, where hitting it not only gave his team momentum but also forced elite defenders to overextend. It's not just a shot, it's a strategic dagger meant to shatter defensive schemes, and when LeBron's in rhythm, it becomes one of the most terrifying weapons in his arsenal because it breaks the traditional spacing rules of basketball. 3. Dirk Nowitzki, fade. Dirk Nowitzki's fadeaway jumper is one of basketball's purest examples of a move that is both fundamentally sound and utterly unguardable. Standing at 7 feet tall with a high release point, Dirk didn't just shoot over defenders, he made them feel helpless. The signature element of his fade is the slight lean back combined with the lift of his leg, often referred to as the one-legged fadeaway. This wasn't just a stylistic flourish. That leg kick created extra space and threw off the timing of shot contests. What made Dirk's fade so lethal is his patience. He wouldn't rush it. He'd back his man down in the mid-post, feel for their defensive weight, and once they leaned in, he'd turn, elevate, and fade away in one fluid motion. Defenders could have a perfect contest and still find themselves watching the ball swish through the net. His footwork, especially the way he pivoted off either foot, allowed him to adjust angles depending on how the defender reacted. This shot became his go-to weapon in clutch situations, including the 2011 NBA Finals where he punished smaller defenders like LeBron James and Chris Bosh repeatedly. For years, teams tried putting longer, more athletic players on him, but it didn't matter. The combination of height, high release, and impeccable balance made Dirk's fadeaway not just a move, it became his basketball fingerprint. 4th, Shammgod, Shammgod. The Shammgod is one of the flashiest and most difficult dribble moves ever pulled off in a live NBA game, and it's named after the man who perfected it. The move is a bait and snatch. The ball handler pushes the basketball out in front with one hand as if they've over-dribbled or lost control. This tempts the defender to lunge forward to steal it. The instant the defender commits, the other hand swoops in and snatches the ball back across the body, usually sending the defender stumbling. What makes Shammgod's execution legendary is how natural he made it look. It's not just about the hands, it's about selling the mistake so convincingly that the defender has to go for it. Shammgod used the move to create space in tight situations, especially against aggressive perimeter defenders. When done perfectly, the Shammgod not only frees you from defensive pressure, but also launches you straight into a drive or pull-up jumper. Today, stars like Kyrie Irving and Chris Paul use versions of it, but Shammgod's original was raw, street ball-infused artistry. It's a move built on rhythm, deception, and timing. Miss any of those elements, and you're just a guy fumbling the ball. Shammgod, however, turned it into a weapon that made crowds gasp. 5. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, skyhook. The skyhook is arguably the single most unstoppable shot in NBA history. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, standing 7 feet 2 inches with massive arms and impeccable footwork, perfected a hook shot so high and so smooth that it became the league's all-time leading scorer's primary weapon. Unlike a traditional hook, Kareem's version involved turning his body sideways to the basket, planting his inside foot, and releasing the ball with a sweeping arm motion that placed it far above the defender's reach. Defenders knew it was coming. Kareem was never hiding it, yet they couldn't stop it. His height and wingspan allowed him to release the ball nearly 12 feet in the air, and his soft touch ensured it dropped in with frightening consistency. The skyhook wasn't just a scoring move, it was a career-extending tool that kept Kareem dominant well into his late 30s. He could hit it from close range, the mid-post, and even as far as 15 feet out. The beauty of the move was its efficiency. It was nearly impossible to block, used minimal energy, and completely demoralized opponents. Every time Kareem took the court, the skyhook loomed over defenders like a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. 6. Stephen Curry, look away. Stephen Curry's look-away pass or shot is pure showmanship mixed with elite awareness. The concept is simple: make a play while looking somewhere else entirely, but Curry has turned it into an art form. In transition, he might throw a behind-the-back pass without glancing at his teammate, or he'll take a three-pointer and turn to the crowd before the ball even goes in. The genius behind this move lies in Curry's timing and court vision. Defenders react to a player's eyes, so when Curry looks one way, they instinctively follow. That's when he strikes, delivering the ball to an open man or sinking a no-look jumper that leaves the defense and fans stunned. The look away works because Curry's shooting threat is so extreme that defenders are constantly on edge. A moment's hesitation caused by his misdirection can mean the difference between a contested shot and a wide-open splash. Beyond the mechanics, the look away also carries a swagger that gets into opponents' heads. A reminder that Curry is not just playing to win, he's playing to entertain and dominate at the same time. 7. Luka Doncic, slo-mo step back. Luka Doncic's slo-mo step back is a perfect example of how pace control can be more dangerous than raw speed. Instead of exploding into the step back like James Harden, Luka uses a deliberate, almost lazy rhythm to lure defenders into thinking they have time to contest. He'll start with a relaxed dribble, maybe a jab step, then slowly shift his weight backward, taking a long step to create space. The slowness is deceptive. Defenders often expect a faster move, so they overcommit or mistime their jump. Luka then rises into a high, smooth release that he can get off over taller players because of his strong frame and balance. His ability to hit these shots in clutch moments, often with a hand in his face, has already made it one of his signature weapons. The real beauty of the slo-mo step back is its adaptability. Luka can use it from the three-point line, the mid-range, or even near the post. He's not trying to blow by defenders. He's trying to make them play at his speed, and once they do, they're trapped in his game. 8. Carmelo Anthony, jab step. Carmelo Anthony's jab step is textbook triple threat dominance. From a stationary position, Melo uses a quick, sharp step toward the defender to force a reaction. Will they back up to prevent the drive or stay tight to contest the shot? This tiny movement allows Melo to read the defense instantly. If the defender backs off, Melo calmly rises into his deadly mid-range jumper. If they stay close, he uses the jab to shift their balance, then blows past them to the rim. What makes Melo's jab step legendary is his ability to chain it together. Sometimes he'll throw 3 or 4 quick jabs in different directions, freezing the defender like a deer in headlights. In his prime with the Nuggets and Knicks, Melo's jab step was one of the most feared weapons in the league because it could lead to a shot in less than a second. It's not flashy like a crossover, but it's ruthlessly efficient. A move built on footwork, timing, and the ability to punish hesitation instantly. 9. Hakeem Olajuwon, Dream Shake. The Dream Shake is more than a move. It's a masterclass in footwork and deception. Hakeem Olajuwon would receive the ball in the post, square up to the basket, and then begin a series of pivots, fakes, and spins that left defenders guessing. The idea was to make the defender commit in one direction, then instantly switch to the other, creating an open look at the rim or an easy fadeaway jumper. Hakeem's balance and agility for a center were unmatched, and his soccer background gave him incredible foot control. He could fake a turnaround jumper, step through for a layup, or even spin back into a hook shot, all from the same setup. The Dream Shake didn't just beat defenders physically, it exhausted them mentally. In the 1990s, Olajuwon used the Dream Shake to dominate playoff series, most famously dismantling David Robinson in the 1995 Western Conference Finals. It's a move that modern big men study to this day because it proves that footwork and timing can beat size and athleticism. 10. Kevin Durant, hazy pull-up. Kevin Durant's hesitation. Pull-up jumper combines the threat of a drive with the deadliness of his jump shot. Durant starts by attacking off the dribble, giving the impression that he's going to the rim. Just as the defender starts to backpedal or shift sideways to cut him off, KD gives a subtle hesitation, a half-second pause that freezes them. In that frozen moment, Durant rises into his shot. At nearly 7 feet tall with a ridiculously high release, his pull-up is almost impossible to block. The hesitation makes it even deadlier because the defender is off balance, unable to fully contest. KD can execute this move from mid-range, beyond the arc, or even coming off a screen. What elevates this move is Durant's smoothness. There's no wasted motion, no telegraphing. The hesitation is subtle enough to keep the defender guessing, but pronounced enough to buy the space he needs. It's one of those moves that feels unfair, because even when you defend it perfectly, Durant can still make the shot with ease. 11. Nikola Jokic, Sombor Shuffle. The Sombor Shuffle, named after Jokic's hometown in Serbia, is a one-legged fadeaway jumper taken off his right leg, the opposite of what's natural for most right-handed players. Jokic developed it during a minor injury when he couldn't push off both legs properly, and it became one of the most unique, unguardable shots in the NBA. The move starts with Jokic posting up or facing up a defender. He then leans slightly back, lifts his right knee, and launches a high arcing shot over the contest. What makes the Sombor Shuffle so dangerous is Jokic's height, touch, and vision. At 6'11", he already shoots over most defenders, but the added off-balance motion completely throws off their timing. Because he can pass out of the shot at the last second, defenders can't overcommit. He'll use it in clutch moments, often against elite rim protectors, knowing they can't get to it in time. The move isn't about speed, it's about rhythm, misdirection, and confidence. For a center, it's the perfect reminder that sometimes the best offense is pure creativity. 12th. James Harden, step back. James Harden's step back three is one of the most feared offensive weapons of the modern NBA. Harden begins by attacking the defender with a series of dribbles, crossovers, between the legs, hesitations, to get them moving backward. Then, in one sudden motion, he plants his lead foot, pushes off, and hops back several feet to create space. The beauty of Harden's step back is the timing. He launches the shot the instant his back foot hits the ground, giving the defender almost no chance to recover. Harden's step back works because of his ball handling and his uncanny ability to read a defender's momentum. If they overcommit to stopping his drive, the step back punishes them instantly. If they hang back to guard the shot, he uses the same setup to blow past them to the rim. This dual threat forces defenders into impossible choices. Harden's endless practice and balance allow him to hit this shot from deep range, off either hand, and even with heavy contests, making it his trademark scoring move. 13th, Manu Ginobili, Euro step. The Euro step existed before Manu Ginobili, but he brought it to the NBA spotlight and turned it into a nightmare for defenders. The move involves taking 2 steps toward the basket, but angling each one in opposite directions. The first step draws the defender one way, the second veers around them to finish on the other side. Manu's genius was how he disguised it. He'd come charging at full speed, making it look like a straightforward layup, then at the last moment shift his body in an unnatural way to slip past the contest. Ginobili's Euro step was devastating because he could finish with either hand, use it in traffic, and combine it with pump fakes or spins. It wasn't just a move. It was a way to turn tight defensive situations into scoring opportunities. Modern stars like Dwyane Wade, James Harden, and Giannis Antetokounmpo have adopted it, but Manu's unpredictability and balance made his version pure chaos for defenses. 14. Michael Jordan, fade. Michael Jordan's fadeaway jumper became his signature weapon in the latter half of his career, allowing him to stay dominant even as his athleticism began to wane. He'd start by posting up, backing down his defender, then planting his inside foot and spinning away from the basket while leaning back into his shot. The fade created enough space to make blocking the shot nearly impossible, and Jordan's elevation and hang time meant he could adjust mid-air to avoid contests. What made Jordan's fadeaway lethal was the combination of fundamentals and killer instinct. He could take it from the baseline, the middle of the floor, or even over double teams. His footwork, perfected through endless practice, allowed him to get into the move quickly and fluidly, without giving away his intentions. In clutch moments, defenders knew it was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. The shot was more than a scoring move. It was a statement of inevitability. 15. Jason Williams, elbow pass. Jason, white chocolate. Williams' elbow pass is one of the flashiest assists in NBA history. The pass is exactly what it sounds like, a behind-the-back feed that's redirected off the passer's elbow to a teammate. Williams famously pulled it off in the 2000 Rookie Challenge, faking out both defenders and his own teammate with the sheer audacity of the move. The key to the elbow pass is deception. Williams would make it look like he was going for a normal behind the back, which caused the defender to follow the expected lane. At the last second, he'd use his elbow to ricochet the ball to the opposite side, hitting a cutting teammate in stride. It's not a high percentage play, but when it worked, it was pure basketball artistry. Williams' creativity and confidence made him one of the most entertaining passers to ever step on the court. 16. Tim Duncan. Bank shot. Tim Duncan's bank shot is a throwback to fundamental basketball, yet he turned it into a signature scoring tool. Standing in the post or mid-range, Duncan would square up, release the ball with a soft touch, and aim for the backboard sweet spot. The angle allowed him to get a cleaner look and softer bounce, especially against taller defenders. What made Duncan's bank shot iconic was his consistency. Defenders knew he was going to use the glass, but they couldn't stop it because of his precise footwork and positioning. Whether he was facing up from the elbow or backing down in the low post, Duncan's mechanics stayed perfect. In big games, especially during the Spurs' playoff runs, this shot was a reliable way to punish defenses without forcing difficult plays. It was simple, effective, and deadly in its efficiency. 17. Allen Iverson. Crossover. Allen Iverson's crossover is the stuff of legend. His most famous victim was Michael Jordan in 1997, but he broke countless ankles throughout his career. Iverson's crossover starts with a hard dribble in one direction, combined with a head fake and body lean to sell the drive. The moment the defender shifts, Iverson quickly switches the ball to his other hand and explodes in the opposite direction. What made his crossover nearly impossible to guard was his speed and low center of gravity. Iverson's ability to change direction without slowing down forced defenders to guess, and most guessed wrong. His crossover wasn't just a highlight move, it was his bread and butter for creating space against bigger, stronger opponents. Even today, players study Iverson's handle to understand the art of misdirection. 18. Zach LaVine. Steal. While known for his dunks, Zach LaVine's steal into fast break play has become a highlight in its own right. LaVine uses his quick hands and anticipation to jump passing lanes or poke the ball free from unsuspecting ball handlers. The moment he secures the steal, he's already accelerating into the open court. What makes LaVine's steal special is what comes after. Often a thunderous dunk that electrifies the crowd. His speed in transition means defenders rarely catch him once he's got a step. In key moments, a LaVine steal can swing momentum instantly, turning a defensive stand into an offensive explosion. 19. George Gervin. Finger roll. George the Iceman. Gervin's finger roll was pure elegance. Instead of laying the ball flat off the backboard, Gervin would scoop it high into the air with just his fingertips, sending it over outstretched arms and softly into the hoop. This move allowed him to score over taller defenders and avoid shot blockers without needing raw power. The finger roll requires incredible touch and control. One wrong angle and the ball rims out. Gervin's long arms and smooth stride made it look effortless. He could finger roll with either hand, from almost any angle, making it an unpredictable and stylish scoring option that's still imitated today. 20. Mike Conley. Floater. Mike Conley's floater is a weapon designed for smaller guards facing towering shot blockers. Driving into the paint, Conley will release a soft, high-arching shot before reaching the rim, allowing it to drop over the defense. The floater's beauty is in its timing. Shoot it too early and it's short, too late and it's swatted. Conley's mastery comes from his ability to disguise when he's going to release it. He can pull it off with either hand, off 1 foot or 2, and from varying distances. Against elite rim protectors, this shot has been his go-to, preventing block shots and keeping defenders guessing. 21. Tony Parker. Spin move. Tony Parker's spin move was lightning quick and incredibly efficient. Driving toward the basket, Parker would plant 1 foot, pivot his body sharply, and spin around his defender, using his body to shield the ball. By the time the defender recovered, Parker was already finishing at the rim with his signature touch. What made Parker's spin deadly was his ability to execute it at full speed without losing balance. He often used it against bigger defenders who tried to cut off his path, turning what looked like a dead end into a layup. Combined with his craftiness and finishing ability, the spin move helped Parker become one of the most efficient scorers in the paint for a guard.